Good evening to one and all present here today. Our very beloved Director Principal, Dr. Mrs. Vandana Lalla, our esteemed speakers for the evening, respected parents, coordinators, teachers, and all my fellow students. As I sit here on this Saturday evening, I can't help but think how life has taken a complete 360-degree turn for all of us. The world has changed like never before. So many of us have started discovering new facets of our own selves, which we never believed could have existed. Have you ever thought about how all of us have managed to cope? Well, friends, we owe it to our emotional intelligence and well-being. We are indeed fortunate to be a part of an institution that dwells deep into the core aspects of child psychology and takes proactive measures to involve both parents and children as partners. Our extremely caring and empathetic Director Principal, Dr. Mrs. Vandana Lalla, may indeed be called the pioneer and beacon of dynamic education. She is the change maker, someone who has never feared adversity or calamity, but has strengthened us all to face every situation with confidence. Truly, ma'am, I could very safely then regard you as the inspiration for students' emotional well-being.
Good evening to everyone. It's just a pleasure to see all these lovely parents and our speakers for this evening. I'm sure we're going to have this wonderful panelist today, two experts in the room and two students in the room. Both students who have completed their IBDP and A levels from Podar International School. We're looking forward to listening to them.
I'm Dr. Smita Desai, and I am an educational psychologist and special educator. I am the co-founder and director of the organization Drishti, which has completed 25 years in the space of psychology and special education needs.
It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this webinar today. Sometimes academics can become so very challenging that you need a lot of support. And that's the time I saw that Podar schools were the ones which had a very open environment, which allowed them to talk out their feelings, which allows everybody to express themselves. And that's actually what understanding emotional well-being is about.
Started studying in Podar in 2007 and completed my IGCSE and A levels. I moved on to becoming a clinical psychologist, and at the moment I'm studying in University College London, pursuing to become an educational psychologist. I've been studying throughout over there. The university really focuses on emotional well-being.
My name is Tarini. I've been associated with Podar from 2010. So I started my 8th grade and I graduated completing the IBT program under the guidance of Hema ma'am. And ever since, my journey has started in the field of fitness. I'm a professional Kathak dancer. My approach to whatever I'm going to say today is movement-based.
So the first question that came up is how to handle boredom.
Boredom is something which comes in when you have to do a particular task for a longer period of time. Okay, so that also does require us to become more resilient. Children of today are given so much of variety that they tend not to value things. So boredom sets in because they want a newness in something all the time. So they lose out on feeling motivated to do a particular task again and again. So to keep them motivated, the same task has to be done a little more. You have to keep, as a parent, you have to keep getting newness. So learning to do a particular activity consistently over a period of time and enjoying it is a task of resilience. And this, once we build in ourselves, then we'll never get bored.
Thank you, Mrs. Sethi. I think she clearly said bring in variety, bring newness, keep motivating. Yes, Dr. Smita, you want to add something to this?
Boredom is something that not just children, I think all of us experience at some point or the other. We face difficult situations, and boredom is one of them. How are we going to learn to bounce back from it, right? And children get bored because of different reasons. I think one of the first things is that things get repetitive. Children probably are not so sure how to engage themselves in different things, and therefore it is an effort that we as parents, teachers, have to make at this point of life to be able to stimulate them, not provide them all solutions, but stimulate them to engage in different experiences, right? That's why, in a way, what schools do. Schools are providing different experiences. They're providing academics, they're providing extracurricular activities, they're providing the sciences, the arts. Why? So that it can stimulate a child's brain to explore different experiences. And from there, the child's interest grows. Now, when we are doing something we are interested in, we'll not get bored. If you find what I am saying to be interesting, you're going to remain on this webinar and not leave and go. But if you do not find it interesting, if you find me boring, then you're just going to slowly kind of sneak out and then sneak in again into this webinar, right? So what can we do in order to create these little individuals where we can help them to explore their strengths, explore the different things happening around them, so that they can then engage themselves in different experiences, and we are there to support them. We are there to give them different different arenas to get into. I think that's what we need to do in order to help them get out of this boredom.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smita. I think very well said that it's to allow them to get the experiences. And I think what you really said is happiness is what is within you, and how do you create that routine, and how do you create that kind of engagement and stimulation. And at Podar, we are really struggling to create that stimulation now. The whole month of May, and parents are in here. The teachers have worked very hard to make sure there is engagement and stimulation in classes from June. Or else they get bored of us. And I know that that's something that we need to keep bouncing back at. So I think one very important question that has come up, how can parents, help children emotionally build up their resilience? I think we've been talking about resilience for quite some time. And I think that's the key word that is coming up. So I'm a parent of, say, a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old, or maybe even an 8-year-old. How do I build that emotional resilience? I think that's a big question many parents have in mind. I think that's an important question. If we can, Anuradha, we'll start with you now.
Beautifully put, ma'am. Emotional resilience, like we were just talking, that to cope with any kind of stress that is coming up in our life at any time, we do need to actually manage that. Stress is a very tricky kind of a thing. Like when Smita said that when there are too many things in our plate, we don't know what to do and how to manage, right? That creates a lot of stress. So that can create stress, new things coming in our life, newer challenges coming in our life, get stressed back again. So these are the times we need to actually cope with and bounce back. Even right now with the COVID, did anybody think about 2 months back that we all will move in masks and we will sanitize? Indians have never used sanitizers the way they are using today. So we all are understanding and adapting to change. So what is resilience? Emotional resilience is about bouncing back each time we fall down. See, there are going to be failures. Children are going to try new things. Very beautifully said by the three speakers just now that the in thing and the right thing is something which of them we have to accept is a controversy. The important thing is whatever our children are doing, we need to firstly believe in them. it's very important to understand why they are wanting to do a particular thing, right? And then, even if they fall, you should be there to support them. As a parent, being a support to our children, hearing them, communicating them with them, and letting them know the consequences, what is going to happen in future if they take these steps, is something that we have to stand by them and even help them out with. So if we can provide them the right kind of choices, alternatives, flexibility, I think then we tend to build resilience in them.
Communication, I think, is the key that is very important for parents, very important for children, very important for teachers at school. I think the communication is something that builds up that relationship with people. If you don't communicate, you just isolate yourself, and then that's your well-being is for a toss. So I think it's very, very important. Right from when I was a child, I think that's something that my mom taught me, and I'm very happy that I had a very happy family, and my mom and dad made sure that we all 4 kids in the house have that kind of engagement and energy. And I think that is the core of everything that we say today, that well-being is about you, and well-being is about we, and well-being is about us. If you, we, and us together have that fantastic communication and the fantastic emotional bonding, like I think each one of you talked about, and the energy levels, I think it's so important. I think everybody talked about energy levels so much. And I think that people ask me, what do you eat that you have so much energy? But I say my energy comes from children. The more I see these kids, the more I feel energetic. And I think that's where my energies come from, and my happiness. So I think that's what I feel. So we will end with one message to parents from each of the panelists, that one message that you want to give parents very, very clearly, very briefly. You would like to end with some kind of a message for these lovely 200 parents of Podar who are doing their best. And I know these are the most challenging times that we all are going through. But I think it's important to build that resilience and build that energy and continue with that spirit. So I'm going to start with anyone who wants to start with one single message for the parents of Podar International School.
The message I want to actually give is very similar to what I think Gauri said in the beginning, is that if we want to really be good parents and we do want to do appropriate parenting, firstly, we need to be really happy. To be happy, we need to take care of ourselves. So self-care. Take care of your physical self-care, mental self-care, emotional, social, all this, and spiritual. If you take care of yourself, only then you can extend yourself to your children. Okay? So take very good care of yourself. Self-care is not being selfish.
Just a few key words that with all the panelists, what I've picked up and my input as well. Connect with your child, connect with your family, people you've been wanting to call. Support. We've spoken about supporting your child through this difficult time, and support your spouse, your friend, yourself. Be grateful for where you are. We are quite fortunate that we are privileged enough to get food, for example, or be in a situation where we're at this level. So be grateful, have gratitude for the things that you have. And lastly is savor. Savor the time that you have with your kids as parents, because there are not many times where you're with the whole family together. And savoring is an act of coming out of the situation and looking on it, and really stepping out and experiencing your own experiences. So I think savor is something that we all must do, be in the moment, be present, and enjoy the time with each other. Thank you so much.
Lovely, Tarani. I think what came from Mrs. Sethi, self-care came out to be, yes, if you care, you need to make sure you connect, you make sure that you support and you be grateful and then experience it. So very good, Tarani. We'll go to you, Gauri, next.
I think I'll just a quick thing. Parents, yes, we've given you a lot of insight, but trust me, you're all doing a good job. So thank you. You can take your hand and pat yourself behind. A little bit tweaking here and there is good. After that, love, laughter, and we'll be happily ever after. So we will be good and we will all be fine. Tweaking here and there, and we're all good to go. So don't worry. Situations come and go, but life will always take us to the right path, and we can keep faith on that and people around us for the same. So I'm going to end with that line.
Thank you, Gauri. I think she really added on to love and laughter. I think that was so nice. It's so important, and so much of energy that it brings to the table. Thank you, Gauri, for that. And now we go on to Dr. Smita Desai to give a short message.
Yes. So I think all the other three speakers have said some wonderful things to close off with. So all that I can end up with a couple of words, and that is one. Parenting can't be perfect. Okay, it's full of imperfections. It's a journey as a parent, and I think it's just important that we enjoy this journey. Okay. And the other thing is, I'd like to end with this little quote this little statement on happiness, because emotional well-being, mental health is all about seeking happiness, like how content am I? And so there was this little quote about, let's not run into the future seeking happiness. Let's recognize it because it's right here, right now. So I'd like to end with that little thought on happiness. Thank you, Vandana. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Smita. I think that was just right. I mean, how content you are. And I think this lockdown has made everybody realize how to value every little thing that we have. And it's so beautifully said, it's right here. And it's not anywhere else. It's how you take it forward. Thank you, Dr. Smita Desai. That was really, really nice. And I really, really appreciate the time that you all have given and spent with my parents today. My parents, I say, because my children. I say all these school kids are my children. I have 2,000. So I have to make sure that these parents who take care of my children have the right well-being. And so this panel, and so I thought best is to put two experts and two students who have also experienced for our school and have experienced a little bit of understanding what well-being meant at Podar International School. So I really, really thank the four panelists for being here with us and helping us and supporting us. And we will continue to take your guidance and expertise every time we have different situations, and I'm sure you will be there for us. So thank you very much to all four of you. I want to thank all the parents, my lovely, lovely parents in this room. I could see a lot of thank you, Vandana, Lula. Thank you, all the panelists. So thank you, parents. You are the key to make this future of this children, the future of our kids lies with you in your homes, and it's so important for us to take care of ourselves. Like in the flight, they say, first you wear the mask for yourself and then you go to your child. So I think it's so important for us to keep that in mind every day. So thank you very much, everyone. I want to thank my leadership team who has made this eventful. Right from Prema Matthew to Veronica to Kruti, Hema, Leena, Aparna, Sachi, Shaina ma'am. I think they all are in this room. Kruti, thank you very much to my leadership team for being here. Dr. Rima and Neena Punjabi, Subharjit, Rekha Bajaj. The whole team is here. So thank you to the leadership team and all the teachers who were in this room to make this event a successful event. Thank you very much.